Hi guys, so I recently posted on my Instagram saying that Alastair and I just launched our private label last week, and I was wondering if you guys had any questions about how to do it or if you wanted to know how we went about it. And lots of you got back to me and said that you did. So we thought that we would create a video to tell you a bit more information than I can kind of type in messages. So here we are.
Also, just want to say that we're not experts in private label. It's my second private label product, but we are not experts. We've not done any courses. All we've done is just research online how to launch it and speak to a few people and kind of gone about it our own way. A lot of online courses kind of do set things. My brother's done a course. He's doing really well with his private label products, but he's done a course. What was the course's name? Amazing Selling Machine. So he's been following that and he's done really well. I think it's got like 9 or 12 different private label products now.
Yeah, all under one brand, and he does do really well.
Yeah, so we're not saying courses are bad, but we didn't do a course because I think all the information is for free online, so I'd rather use that than spending thousands of pounds doing a course. I'd rather just spend £1,000 putting into the private label product. So firstly, let's just point out we didn't make them, sorry. Tried to launch 3 private label products before we got to this one. Ordering samples from China, going through that whole process.
And using Alibaba.
Yeah, so we were ordering samples from China, but then when the samples came, they weren't quite right, or the listing had changed. So it's probably for the best that we didn't actually go ahead with those. But recently, well, not that recently, probably about a month and a half ago, we found another product which we could private label, and it is not using sort of the typical sourcing methods that we used before. We've kind of found our own way around doing it. Which is what we're going to plan on sharing today. Not too much detail, because why would we share everything? What else? So what Amelia was supposed to say then was the most talked about things that people have mentioned and kind of wanting us to talk about a little bit are the costs, the lead times, the costs sourcing from China.
Or the UK.
Yeah. And then how do you go about creating the listings, how many units do you order, and all this kind of stuff, basically the basic stuff which makes sense. So I think we can try and go over some of that from our experiences.
Yeah, so I mean, firstly you need to pick a budget. You need to work out how much you want to put into it. I think we decided about £1,000 to put into it, but it could be way less, it could be way more. It's just completely up to you, but you need to decide that first.
Yeah, and then based on that you can then decide. So if your budget's £1,000, you're going to have to be looking at cheaper products. You can't be looking at expensive products because you're just not going to have enough money to buy quantities of those. So if you have endless supplies of money, you can look at all sorts of possibilities, but know your budget and you don't want to be going over that. So we started with £1,000. We managed to buy 200 units with that. So we're not just £200 on unit, sorry, £1,000 on 200 units. There's lots of other little costs that went to for starting up. But I'd say £1,000 pretty reasonable. You'd be happy as possible to start a private label product with that much money.
And to do with UK versus China, as you said before, we did look on Alibaba and order some samples from China for our other private label products. It costs a lot, firstly, to get the samples sent over, like £70 per sample, and then if it's not actually what you're expecting, then it's kind of a waste of money.
And then you have to buy another sample as well, because you can't.
when you've actually changed what you wanted to change. With them, it's also just really hard, we found, to work with their time scale and ask them questions, etc.
There's also a massive language barrier.
Yeah, there's a language barrier and C.
Yeah, so the C, and actually getting things over here can be a little bit more complicated. Once you get into the swing of it, it's fine. But initially, for someone just starting out on Amazon, it's quite a complicated process to go through with imports and duties and actually FBO shipping versus like sea shipping and all these there's so many little different things. It can be quite complicated. So if you can find something in the UK which still makes enough money, I'd advise.
It does simplify it.
It does simplify that. But you're paying slightly more, but then it can actually be easy with all these imports and all that kind of stuff.
And you can also use it as a great USP because you're having something made in the UK and people love to see things that are made in the UK rather than just getting it from China. So it can work as a positive using the UK.
And you can develop a better relationship with the people in the UK because you can actually just pick up the phone and chat to them whenever you want to. So if there's any problems or anything like that, so then our manufacturer, he's so helpful. He's recommending new options for our product, and it's been really helpful having someone just on sort of text basically. So yeah, that's China versus UK. Lots of people are very successful doing it from China. But
yeah, and I'm sure we will probably buy some other private label products from Alibaba from China in the future. It just wasn't going to work for us for this product.
So the next thing on our talking point.
Okay guys, let's just backtrack a little bit because we forgot about how to actually look for private label product. So we do use Jungle Scout. We have got their...
I think it's the extension on Chrome. So when you click it on an Amazon page, it pulls up all the reviews, all the sales, all the listings, so you can put it in a nice sort of table so you can actually see things easily.
Yeah, so let's say, just as an example, you were going to search for a yoga mat because those are a really popular private label, and just don't do that because everyone's done it. But if you were to search for it, it would pull up all the different yoga mats, and then it would put them in order of how many sales a month it gets, how much revenue it gets and everything. So it tells you a lot of information. It's definitely worth getting that, or looking into having a free trial or something just to test it out, because it's really helpful when looking.
Yeah. So actually when you start coming to search for an item, that's a really good tool to use. But so you might be wondering what to actually search for. The best kind of way to do this, so this is where we've disagreed. Well, not disagreed, but we've kind of gone our own little way. Rather than following all the courses, the courses have like a general outline. Find a product that sells well, that's got low reviews, it's small, it's light, and it's over a certain value. We kind of thought if every person is doing that and following those guidelines, it's going to be make it that kind of sort of that criteria really competitive. So why don't you go outside of those guidelines? Maybe find something that's big and bulky but sells for a lot because it's got less competition. Find something that doesn't sell as well but still sells consistently, and then have lots of those products instead. So don't go for these hot like fidget spinners, crazing, like all these crazes and stuff. Trying to avoid anything that's, I like to call a sexy product. Avoid those and go for something which is a boring product which people keep on buying no matter what time of the year, what season. People will replenish it. You
need to find something that people will buy again. So something that's gonna run out, something that's gonna stop, not being good, but stop working at some point, but for a good reason. So yeah, you want something that people are going to buy again, that people are going to love. So don't look for just a craze. Don't look for a unicorn pair of sunglasses or some...
They would be nice though.
They would be.
So yeah, find something that's replenishable, something that people will buy again because they've used it, and then they keep coming back to you. If your product's a good product. Also, it's important to have a good product.
Yeah. You want good reviews.
Yeah, so if it's a good product, people will keep on buying it back from you. And that's a sustainable and replenishable business. So always bear that in mind when searching for products. So the way you can search for products is go through Amazon categories, go into subcategories, find some boring products that you don't even think of buying, and have a look at those.
Or even stuff that you're already selling as like through your arbitrage business.
Yeah.
Just have a think if maybe you could create your own one if it's not an oversaturated market. Just create your own spatula. Or whatever it is that you could be selling. Yeah.
If you've got a product that's selling really well, see if you can copy it, see if you can source it cheaper, and then redo the listing and have your own private label.
And
products.
underprice them.
Yeah. And don't worry about too much. So the next topic I think we're going to go on to is like branding and sort of how to brand a product to make it look good. Don't worry about this too much. It is important, but like I got taught a couple of weeks ago, it's not as important as these courses make out. There are ways of not spending all your time and effort trying to create a really good brand. Not that this isn't important, but don't waste your time doing this. The most important thing to do is spend your time trying to find a product that's good.
Also, there's so many social media platforms now, like Instagram. Facebook is becoming more like Instagram, where it's just so easy to get your product out there and share it to so many people that you really don't need to worry so much about creating a brand image, because brand is kind of not going down.
But that's an interesting point for another topic, I think.
Should I not have said that?
No, don't say that. We're coming back to this. So Gary Vaynerchuk said it's interesting to see how brands are actually going to like last if everything's turning to like more automated and stuff, so we haven't, I'm not going to say the word, but we have one of those Amazon things you talk to, she'll go crazy if I say the word, where you can order, say, order some more toilet rolls. So you're not even asking for a branded product, you're asking for a generic product. So that,
and Amazon will just choose whatever's at the top of its listing at the moment,
or
what you've bought before.
Yeah, so the most popular. So that's kind of taking the brand away from that. And that's where I potentially see consumerism going. So that's something to bear in mind. But yes, going back, ignoring everything I just said, a brand is still important.
Yeah.
It's still, product's still got to look good, but don't worry so much. Don't get caught up in that so much.
Yeah, and don't worry about creating a brand that you then, or thinking of a product that you then have to get loads of other products to go with it. You don't need to. You can just have one product by itself doing fine and then create 10 others by themselves doing fine. They don't all need to be kitchen items or pet items or kid items. They don't need to be all together under the same
I think what we're trying to say is just keep everything really simple. Don't overcomplicate it, because we spent the last year when we're supposed to be finding private label product overcomplicating everything, and then we never actually made a product.
Yeah.
So don't make things too complicated.
Go with your gut.
Yes.
To some extent.
So when you actually come round to branding it, you don't have to worry about being arty yourself. There's something called Freelancer. So we always use Freelancer.
It's similar to Fiverr.
Yeah, but I think I get better results from Freelancer, because you can do a competition. So you can do a competition for a logo or some packaging design or something like that. And then you get lots of entries and you can kind of decide from those. So don't worry about it. If you're not arty or anything like that, there's loads of ways that the internet will help you.
Yeah. And so with Freelancer, you basically create your job, tell people what you're looking for, whether it's a logo or a label or whatever you need packaging wise. And then you get lots of people entering. You also decide your budget beforehand. So I think we picked like £120 for our packaging, and we got really good entries.
Yeah.
But you could say £50, and you might not get as good entries, but you can still tweak them and help the people to kind of make it how you want it. So it's really good.
Yeah.
And then you can work with that person
in the future. Yeah.
And they're usually really, really helpful.
Okay, so we've potentially found a product, you've searched, you found something which isn't so competitive, found something you can buy cheap enough from UK or China, you've now created a brand or a packaging design for it.
Yeah, lead times maybe.
Yeah, lead times. So with our product,
because it's from the UK.
Because it's from the UK, we can get stock within a week, probably less than a week.
Yeah.
Initially it takes
free postage.
Yeah, free postage is important. But then from China, I think the typical kind of lead times, it can be 3 weeks as a minimum, up until like 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the manufacturer.
And then it also, they're going to be strict on how much you're ordering as well, because it's going to cost so much for you to post it.
Yeah.
You're going to want to order more to make it
cost effective.
Yeah, cost effective, which can really push you to the limits, because if they're asking you to order 500 and you just don't have the money to pay for 500 of your stock, it's also a huge risk, because it's a new product and you don't know if it's going to sell, and having 500, it would just
Yeah, I think 500 is even quite low. I see the typical minimum order is like 1,000 to 500. So that's like a typical order from Alibaba, I found. Whereas buying from the UK, we've managed to do a minimum order of 200.
Yeah.
And we probably could have got less.
Maybe.
But we didn't, I think.
So yeah, that's another bonus of doing it from the UK. Obviously, you can't get everything in the UK, which is something you have to bear in mind. But
Europe.
Yeah.
Europe's closer. And there's plenty of places.
You don't have to use Alibaba.
Yeah. Just be tactical about it. Everyone's going to be searching on Alibaba for certain things. If you can find manufacturers or sources, trade shows are a great thing to go to as well.
Yeah. There's a good one in London.
Yeah. There's lots of good ones everywhere. So yeah, we can always look at other options for sourcing your products. And then once you've sourced your product, so you've got the brand, you've got the product, go to manufacture it, you've got it delivered. Next thing you kind of need to do is create your listing. It's a really simple process. All you need, though, is really important, is a barcode.
Where do you get those?
I can't remember the website off the top of my head.
We'll put it in the links below the video.
Yeah.
Once we know where you get them.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. So you need a barcode, and then you need some images of the product as well. Now, if your product is being designed in like a packaging, often you can use the rendered images. You don't have to worry about actually taking pictures
Yeah. So if you did use Freelancer, the person that you choose, the designer that you choose on Freelancer, will be able to do that for you on a white background.
Yeah, so the main picture on Amazon needs to have a white background.
Yeah.
The rest of the pictures can be a little bit more flexible.
And it needs to be of just the product.
Yeah.
Just like the front of the product or whatever.
And actually think and look at the pictures. The picture's the first thing that people see. So this is a really important thing. It can make all the difference. See if you can showcase your product in a different way to everybody else. Don't do the same as everybody else. Just try and do something different, then you'll stand out. So the picture can be really important. And the listing as well. So the listing, you get 5 key bullet points, and then you get your main listing as well.
Yeah, so the bullet points are the bits that come up next to your picture on the Amazon listing.
Yeah, once you've clicked on it.
Yeah, once you've clicked on it.
So this is really important because you can add all your keywords in here. So all of the keywords are things that people search for on Amazon. So what you want to try and do is just put in as many keywords as you can relevant to your product. And then when people are typing in things, this should help. I'm not a keyword person at all. We've only really learned it over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
But there's lots of tools to help you. I think it's called Merchant Keywords. Again, we'll put a link in there if we can find a link.
Yeah. There's also a place where you can write your description and put like little cute ticks and hearts and stuff, which is quite nice.
It's like a HTML. So yeah, the Amazon listing is in HTML.
Yeah.
The website thing. And you can it just converts it for you. So it puts all the paragraphs in and stuff. It looks really good. You've done all that, haven't you?
Yep. So I did the listing for products.
Yeah.
Alistair's not very good at spelling.
And the next thing to do is kind of, if you've got your product created, you want to start getting some sales. So Amazon changed their rules about reviews and stuff probably about a year ago. So before you used to be able to just give someone a coupon and they could review your product, and essentially they get it for free, and it's basically a review in exchange for
a product.
Yeah, which you can't do anymore. But what you can do is still get your family members, friends, or anybody you know to buy it for you. Make sure you kind of get them to...
Need to be careful.
Just be careful about it. Reviews do get deleted very easily. You want to make sure these are genuine reviews.
And maybe not under the same name, like the same surname as you, because they do check.
So I can't give reviews.
And address. And
I can't give any reviews to my brother's products, and likewise he can't give any reviews to my products. Not that you should be doing this, but that is a good way.
But it's helpful.
It's a good way to get 1 or 2 reviews just to help the product get seen a little bit.
Yeah, because once you get at least 1 or 2 reviews, then it pushes your product up a bit higher on the pages, so it will come up a bit further.
Depending on how competitive the category is, it will help you push it up. And then actually having like a couple of sales instantly, Amazon's like algorithms will think, okay, well actually this is a product which maybe people want to see, so they'll push it up slightly. Yeah. You can also do adverts. And then social media is a great way to drive traffic to your product.
What's the click thing on the Amazon adverts?
The click thing?
Yeah, where you bid for a click or something?
Oh yeah, they're bidding. Pay per click.
Pay per click.
I don't really understand it either, but there's lots of YouTube videos out there which will help you understand it.
Yes.
And
but just guess.
Yeah, there's also a trial Amazon program which we've just used, so you can use other people's products and it can target advertising on those products. So if there's the top 3 products, if you put those into your advert, so rather than doing all the keywords and stuff like that.
So you can basically target your competitors.
Yeah.
Essentially.
My hand's getting tired. Yeah, so you can target all your competitors, and then that's actually, it seemed quite well. I mean, we've probably got 5 sales from our adverts so far.
Yeah, and you can Amazon will show you from the advertising where all your money is going and how much people are actually receiving your adverts. And whether it's actually working, which is obviously really good.
So you can change it and stop it, and you can fiddle around with it. Do the manual keywords as well. Do the manual advertising, so you choose what you're putting down. Yeah. Because your product's so new, Amazon doesn't know what your product is. So until you start getting sales, always do them. Well, I recommend doing the manual ones.
Media.
Sorry, I stopped that. You need to start again.
Do you want to put your hand down a bit?
No, it's fine. I'm resting my leg.
Do you want to stop this video?
No, it's fine. We can wait for you to drink. Me drinking gin and tonic.
Back to social media. So before as soon as you've chosen your name for your product, you need to get your Instagram name, your Facebook name, and all that stuff secure.
And a website.
Yeah, and a website if you can afford it, because a website is a cost, isn't it? Like £35 or something to get your domain.
Yeah.
But you also need your email as well. So you want to get all those things sorted under your brand name before you even start
before you even pick a brand name, make sure it's not trademarked.
Yeah, and go through all the trademark stuff.
Yeah, if you can afford the trademark, go through it. It's about £200 to register a trademark,
Yeah.
but make sure your brand name isn't trademarked.
Yeah.
We forgot to do that. So we're going to have to change all our packaging, aren't we?
Yes. Well, it's not the brand name, it's just the name that we're using for the specific product.
But it was on the product, so we're going to have to change all that.
Yeah. Luckily, the person was very nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely make sure you check the trademark website. And it's just on HMRC, isn't it?
Yeah, just type in check a trademark and then type in those words.
Yeah, so it's super easy to check it, but obviously
we forgot.
People do forget. So yeah, just make sure all of that's secured, and even before you start manufacturing products and everything, I mean, just start posting on there. Just post relevant stuff. It doesn't need your product to be on there until it's ready. Just get a buzz, get some followers, get some likes.
If it's a product which is like an interest, say go back to the yoga mats, just start posting like yoga quotes or create like a little bit of a following about yogi people.
Yeah.
Because then you've already created a market you can release your product to.
Yeah, so they'll be excited to see your product. You can kind of build up to the big day of releasing your product, and hopefully that will push your sales as soon as it's listed. But yeah, use hashtags on your social media. And I found that social media isn't just going on and posting a photo for 5 minutes. You need to be messaging people, you need to be commenting, you need to be liking other photos that are relevant to you, you need to be following relevant things, follow hashtags, you need to be on there for at least an hour a day doing these things.
Yeah, don't be a horrible social media person that just posts boring stuff and that no one's interested in. Actually interact with people and engage and post something that's useful and be friendly. Yeah, it's probably a good advice for social media. You're really good at it. I didn't do anything with that.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of addicted to Instagram. It's a problem.
And I'm terrible at making videos and photos, so I'm not allowed to do that.
You're allowed.
Yeah. And then the next thing kind of to do is if your product is doing well, which hopefully it will, but be prepared for it not doing well. Not everything is...
Well, yeah, don't expect it to sell out in the first day.
Yeah, I was expecting 100 sales in the first day and it didn't happen.
I think Alastair got us both really hyped up, being like, this is great, this is amazing, and obviously believe in your product, because it is your product. You do need to believe in it. You do need to be behind your own product. I think it's really important to sell something that, I mean, it's up to you. You can sell a piece of crap, but I think that
crap does sell. Crap does sell sometimes. That's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. If you're not interested in branding, you just want to make money, that's absolutely fine. Yeah. But if you want to create a brand, something you potentially can go to supermarkets or stores as well, a business that you can actually sell.
Don't necessarily limit yourself just to Amazon private label, and
you are creating a product. Yeah, you are creating a product that can potentially sell anywhere. Yeah. So it's really good to embed.
I think a really good one to look at is Joseph and Joseph. Like, I don't know where that's come from. It, to me, seems like a private label. It might not be.
But it's a pretty big brand.
It is a big brand, but only in the last few years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I see it most of the time online. Sometimes it's in John Lewis, but you could be Joseph and Joseph.
Yeah. Or Amelia and Alastair, if you want to do that. That's probably trademarks, so you can't use that. But yeah, so just create something that if you want to, create something that you're passionate about, and then you'll be more interested in pushing it through. I think some people launch products, quit them, like not quit them, drop them. So it depends what you want to do. And
like fads.
Yeah.
Also kind of like the essential oils diffusers. Yeah. That was a huge thing. Or the charcoal face masks, another fad that kind of just got dropped.
So a few things to avoid would be oil diffusers, fads like raspberry keto things, the charcoal tablets.
Which are amazing if you jump on them at the right time. You need to be there when there's just 2 products on Amazon, and you need to be quick. Yeah, really quick.
But then you've got to bear in mind that these huge companies will also jump on them, and they've got more money. They spend more advertising money than you make in a whole year on a day. Yeah. So be warned for those. That's why I'm saying go for a boring product. Yeah. Which just helps. Can't think of anything else we need to talk about. Is there anything else on our list?
Let me have a look. Tools. Okay, I don't know we talked about that.
And software. So just Jungle Scouts. Jungle Scouts is one of the best things. Yeah. Tools.
Also, what I did want to talk about with the pictures, we did speak to a few other people who had also done private labels, and if you don't use freelancers, say you do make your own packaging or you don't need packaging to go on it, just drop it off at a local photographer is what people said, and just leave it with them for a week and just be like, hey, I'll give you £10 if you can take two
just like,
photos of this within a week. And generally they do that.
Yeah. Just talk to people, like, you can get the best deal wherever you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know working online you don't want to talk to people, because I don't. But it
does help. Lots of people don't speak to people anymore, so
just smile.
Yeah. And if you're confident in asking for something, often you'll get it. So subscribe.
Please. Did you want to end there?
No, I thought I was going again.
Okay. So if you would like to... I've lost my train of thought now.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, we'll put the links in the bio.
Yeah, all the links and stuff that we've chatted about, we'll rewatch it, make sure we don't forget any.
Yeah.
If you have any more questions, we could potentially make another video.
Just ask questions we're always on Instagram, like I said.
You are.
So we'll answer questions that you sent to us there. We will answer questions if you comment on YouTube, whatever.
Yeah, we're actually, I keep saying I want to keep going on YouTube. So please keep pestering me and Amelia to make videos about things. Otherwise I just forget. But it's something I really want to do. And you guys can help me. Please. Cool. Well, thank you very much. I hope that has helped. Have you anything else to say?
No. I would tell you to buy a product, but I can't tell you what it is.
Sorry we can't share it, but...
Yeah. When it's huge and taking over the world, then we'll tell you.
Yeah. Cool. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.
So Amelia has just posted on her Instagram what did you say?
I said I did a private label. Can you start talking?